All right, we're live. Good morning, gang. Welcome to Drawing for Tattooers. I'm James Wisdom. With me this morning, we've got Amber. Hey, Amber, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm so glad you could join us. We were just chit-chatting about how fun it is to be together and to have somebody else to draw with.
Yes,
It really makes it a lot more enjoyable,
yes, and I
right? To
get a
have
lot more
have more
done that way.
people. Yeah. No, me too. Me too. And so yeah, we're also chit-chatting about tattoo conventions.
I love tattoo
We're chit
conventions. It's so much fun.
Oh, I know, right? We really can't, I really hope that it's something that let me see here. Really hope that it's something that we can hopefully we can hang out together at a tattoo convention coming up.
Yeah,
That would be super duper. I know Jason was live streaming. Jason and Kyle were live streaming from their convention yesterday.
yes.
Yeah, good. So, oh, just checking out the YouTube. Creature's Cave says hi. I'm gonna say hi back to Creature.
Hi, creature.
Hi, Creature.
I keep trying to convince her she should come on with us.
Yeah, definitely.
I
You're
think
more
she
than
would have a
welcome,
great
Creature.
time.
Yeah, I think that would be outstanding. So, and we connected on Instagram yesterday, so that was cool. Um, I've been checking out your Instagram posts, Amber. Always a good time. So,
I have a very interesting sense of humor.
absolutely. So, yeah, no, but I think it's really great to be inspired by others, and you want to put yourself out there, you want to put your work out there. I want to do the same thing. So I'm going to try my best to be more proactive about that stuff. So,
Mm.
well, let's see here. Yeah. So I'm gonna do these morning announcements that we usually do here. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully that's gonna work. Uh, oh yeah, and Allie says good morning. Good morning, Allie. Come on
Good
too.
morning.
Everybody's welcome. So all right, all right. Let me do these announcements here for us. Yeah. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live stream and real world events to share, inspire, and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help, we have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on demand tattoo and art shows that have been receiving rave reviews. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo on all the app stores, the Apple App Store, and the Google Play Store, as well as our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and Roku, reinventingthetattoo.com. We actually have up to 15 Roku channels going at any one time, 24 hours a day. So check that out. You can also catch our podcast on all the major podcast directories, such as Apple and Spotify. But no matter where you're watching our live and on demand, the latest and greatest can always be found at reinventingthetattoo.com. You can even try it out for free with sample webinars, Reinventing the Tattoo Canon. We've even got advice from Guy himself about your unique goals and a comprehensive tattoo history course from Jay Brown. Um, we have a Reinventing 24/7 channel. It's much like our Roku channel, and that's up 24 hours a day. We also have professional development courses available and on demand from over 20 of world-class tattoo artists. So be sure to tag a friend who loves tattoos. These sessions are designed to be helpful for everyone from enthusiasts to collectors and other artists. We have a number of weekly staple shows, and we encourage people to tune in, starting on Sundays at 1 p.m. with Jason Leeser, Sunday Skill Building, where we talk about building up our skill sets and what skills we're going to be working on for that week. That's followed on Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern, Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom. That's me. Where we discuss different drawing techniques and strategies to help us become better artists. Followed on Mondays at 11 a.m. with Tattoo Weekly, hosted by Lauren Gregory, Jake Meeks of the Fireside Network, as well as Gabe Ripley of Tattoo Now. That's all followed at 5 p.m. Eastern. Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple. After that, at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have the subscribers exclusive drawing groups led by Guy and Sandy. That's followed on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. With by the Tuesday Feels drawing group with Ricardo Sturdivant. Wednesdays at 1 p.m., we have the Tattoo Now show. And on Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast hosted by Fawn Baker. We'd like to take a moment and thank some of our sponsors. This is a reinventing page that I'm sharing right now. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom so we can see. Yeah, cool. Okay. So, thanks to our sponsors, Raw Pigments. Raw Pigments is a company that's tapping into the source, rawpigments.co. These are acrylic-free, vegan-friendly, powder-based pigments. They saturate very well, and they're absolutely incredible. So be sure to check them out at rawpigments.co. Worldwide Tattoo Events, worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They're constantly keeping everything up to date. So for the latest and greatest tattoo event information coming to a town near you, look at worldtattooevents.com. DLize Pro, also known as Dermalize in the rest of the world, protect your art. If you're still using plastic wrap to wrap up your tattoos after you're done with them, it's probably time to step up your game. DLize Pro is developed by wound care specialists and specifically designed to help heal tattoos. There are tons of videos posted about them, so check it out and try DLize Pro. TattooNow.com. TattooNow.com is technology for tattooers and the leading edge of professional development, management, and digital tools for artists of all levels. They have upgrades to your mailing list, as well as CRM software and professional development tools for all different types. So go through and take a look at TattooNow.com, the leading edge of tattoo technology. And of course, this wouldn't be Reinventing the Tattoo without Guy Atchison. So we want to offer a very grateful thank you to Guy Atchison. You can find Guy Atchison at reinventingthetattoo.com as well as guyatchison.com. Go to guyatchison.com where you can pick up a copy of his biometric encyclopedia, as well as DVDs, custom coil machines, and some original oil paintings. He also has tons and tons of prints available. That's guyatchison.com. We also like to give a quick shout out to our affiliates, the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols, as well as Jake Meeks of the Fireside Tattoo Network. And as always, we ask that you post a positive review on our channel, hit that like and subscribe button, and help us get the word out there. All right. And so that's it. And good morning again, Amber. It's so great to have you today.
I'm glad I'm
And
here.
yeah, I'm really glad that you're here also. And so, like I was, like you and I were discussing earlier, I think, today will be a really great opportunity just to sort of dive into some drawing exercises and we'll keep the conversation lively because again this is also a podcast. So,
Yes,
you know it's I think it's a much richer experience if you get a chance to watch us, but not everybody gets to do that. So
yeah,
it's definitely one of those luxuries if you get to watch or if you get to participate. um, Everyone is welcome to zoom in and participate with us, but if you're just listening on the podcast, then we appreciate you too.
yes,
And so we'll try to keep it like interesting for you as well. So and you were talking today, mentioning that like you really want to work on your figure drawing. I do too. I mean, this is something it's always, it's a passion of mine. I love drawing the figure. I love drawing, I love making portraiture. drawing portraits and stuff. It's something that
Mhm.
I get a lot of um, enjoyment out of and a lot of satisfaction. Um, what about you? Do you have like a specific type of thing that you like to do the most, or is there something that
I
you
haven't
get a lot
drawn
of?
portraits in a good 20 years, so I'm just trying to get my skills back up so that I can. I'd like to be able, because I like to do black and gray tattoos. I'd like to be able to do realistic black and gray tattoos and do portraits and stuff. But my skill level as far as drawing is not there yet, and I'm not going to mess somebody up practicing on that.
No, that makes sense. But I mean, I think, it's something good to just to keep in mind that you're got to start somewhere.
Yes.
So, maybe you can invite a few people, uh to be the guinea pig, right? That sort of a thing. Like just like when we were apprentices, right? Just like when we were just
Yeah.
starting out, you offer it to somebody and with the with of course the caveat like, well, as you get better you're gonna go back and work it out later, right? Like
Hmm.
so there there's not that much there's I mean there's always a lot at stake, but
I
that's
always
the
practice a new skill on fake skin first anyway.
that's a great idea too. I think that's a great way to go.
I think I'm keeping the fake skin companies in business with all the fake skin I order.
That's awesome. But there's nothing like the real thing, right? So I think
No,
I just want to encourage you, right, as you start to develop your technique, you know, and you really start to develop like your eye and the way that you're sort of analyzing, the
the
observation, right?
form.
You're seeing it because that's how that goes. I mean, I guess I was talking to somebody about this recently, and it's like, if you want to compose pictures and stuff, you want to make it up. Um, that's a whole experimental stage that we
Yes,
really all need to do as artists. But when it comes time to do a tattoo, we really should be sort of using a reference. We really should be sort of like
solving as
applying
many
it.
problems before you start the tattoo as
Hmm.
possible so that you
Right.
don't run into them during the tattoo.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I think it's just so I think it's easier than one realizes, like to just sort of like you're get involved with doing your work and it's like,
Hmm.
oh, I got to stop and get this or get that or or do something. It doesn't it almost like it almost blocks you from doing it, like
Yeah,
like you're so wrapped up in doing
you
the
get
work.
out of that groove and then it's hard to get back into it. But if you know what you're doing ahead of time,
Yeah.
it's really easy to just pick back up where you left off.
Oh, I think so too. All right, we got spirit. We got the spirit.
Oh,
Let's say good morning to spirit.
good morning, spirit.
There he is. Yes. Good morning, Spirit. And so great to have you.
Oh, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. Good.
Good, good.
We were just getting warmed up. We're all through the announcements, and today we were really just hoping to do a lot of drawing and just keep a lively conversation going. So and again, it's so great to have friends to draw with. I think it just makes it so much more enjoyable.
It's so great. And I hope you
So,
guys who are watching all over the world are drawing with us. Even if you think you suck.
oh my
You know what I'm
God.
saying? I hate to say that, but like, even if you think you suck, because we all think we suck, you know?
Yes, we all
Yeah.
think we suck.
You know? Um,
I
Yeah,
actually
true,
have
so
that written on
true.
one of my figure drawings. I suck.
yeah, yeah. And it's just a
But that's something to overcome. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's like I mean,
you get
like
better.
well, I think thinking you're awesome is something to overcome also. You know what I
ooh,
mean? Like you got to
Yes,
think you got to think that like, oh, I need to get better. That's something you have to
yeah.
overcome, get better. But
Staying
then as soon
humble.
as you think you got it, right? That's something you got to get over. You got
Yeah,
to get
because
over
there's
that
always
shit.
somebody better.
yeah, exactly.
You got to get over that shit. Um, excellent. Spirit, could you turn your camera could you turn it like one more time? See if that clicks over. So it fills out the screen.
This
Sometimes
better?
what so sometimes here what I end up doing like to get it out of lock mode is I'll actually take it out of the holder and I'll turn it and then then it wants to just then sometimes it will. That's it. You did it. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, just sort of when I first started hanging out with the reinventing gang, that was always this thing like turn your camera. So I got
Mhm.
Gabe in my ear like turn your camera.
Okay.
And it's like and I couldn't figure it out for the longest time, but it's there's just a little technique to it. You just like you got to
Mm,
grab it out and there's there's like gyroscopes in our phones that like they're crazy. There's
I know.
like there's more technology in these than it took to get to the moon. So
Right, for real,
I don't know
for
what
real.
we're doing.
Hmm.
They've
Um,
made all kinds of things obsolete.
well, I still think we went to the moon. So
Yeah,
I
so
think
I
maybe
so
do
too.
too.
I really do
maybe
feel that
I'm
we
one of
went to the
those.
moon.
Yeah, we went to the moon. I'm
Yeah, I
not
think
one of those the
we
moon
went
will
to the
fake.
moon. Yeah, no, I
Right.
don't want to. I don't want to give up on that dream. And Pluto is still a planet to me. I don't know what I'm
Yes,
stuck in the
yes.
past. I get.
Pluto is still a planet to me
How
too.
about that?
Bring back Pluto. All right. Well,
Uh,
more debate. All right. Well, I've got our figure drawing reference here. Let me see if I can share it with us. And so yeah, share the screen and
when do we get to show our homework?
oh, well,
That was
here
hard.
you got it. I want to see it because guess what? I
All
didn't
right.
do it. So
All
I'd
right.
love to see it. Spirit,
No
show
worries.
it. Show us what you got.
All right. Let's
Love
see.
to see that.
Okay. Give me just a second. Let me go ahead and cue it up. All right. So I have a few versions. Because let me tell you, this was hard. Oop, there we go.
Yes.
They look good.
Yes. Yeah, they look really good, I think. Oh,
Thank
cool.
you.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Um,
And I really enjoyed that one that you had with where the shadow ended up being a different color than the casted shadow was darker than the shadow on the
mhm.
object because that's exactly what I think we were seeing. Yeah, there like in the red you were really able to capture it too. Yes.
Yeah.
Um
And I find that
that's
like
that
doing the background kind of like really works, just as a matter of utility because it allows you to use different tones. Like what was difficult is these shapes here, you know, as you can see, there's not a vast difference in the tones. So you really have to, but each different facet by default is different than each other, because
Mm.
it's being hit in all different directions, by the light. And so that the background I found really kind of helped. Excuse me for there we go. Yeah, so the background really kind of helped to facilitate the difference between the different tones. Yeah.
well, I think to be honest it's that subtle differentiation that really makes it. So you're able to say this is darker than that. And then, like it starts off maybe like just positive, negative.
Hmm.
That's something that Guy Aitchison talks about all the time. If you start doing the canon, you start studying Reinventing the Tattoo, the book, it's sort of the
Yeah,
fundamentals of that book is the positive and negative
Napop.
relationship. Neg
Yeah,
on pods, right? So
I had the book. It got destroyed, but yeah, yeah, that was a really. What's interesting is like you read it. you read it, and then it has taken me years to kind of still, develop the
Comprehend a
idea
lot of
and
what's in there.
practice. Right, right, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the cool part is the discovery. But
So you had the old book. Hey, good morning, Harriet. Hi. Just want to say hey, thanks for joining us. Ah, there's Jerry.
Yeah.
They're my parents, by the way, in case you couldn't tell the shared last
hey,
Good
name. So,
morning.
Good morning, Spirit. Good morning,
so glad
Spirit.
you all could
good
come.
morning.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just talking to Spirit. We were talking about reinventing the tattoo, the book.
Ah,
And so Spirit, you had the actual physical book.
The
That's
physical
what you're
book.
saying.
oh,
Hmm.
I had one too, and it grew legs and walked away. Like
Oh
That book is
man.
like gold. I
somebody
used mine until it fell apart.
yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice. That's
I
fantastic.
I think I was more into I was just so into the pictures. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I
they're
was,
mesmerizing.
and that was that. I think that was just something, that was the maturity thing too. Like not really reading the text in depth as much as I should have, and but now I'm doing the digital one. It's available through reinventingthetattoo.com. The digital book, it's got even more, right? The
Mm,
digital version. And it's all like, so before it was like a 3-ring binder and he would send you stuff, or you could update it or whatever. But now it's like, now he's constantly updating it. And it's this incredible resource. I really want to encourage you, if you do tattoos, I think it's a real great, like, it's a resource to have, like as a part of your library, even though it's a digital book.
Hmm.
It's just something that, like, and there's a lot of different tiers of, like, you know what I mean, like, of entry. So there's one that's fairly affordable, and there's even like there's a course you can take with him where where a guy actually leads drawing sessions and stuff too. So anyway, that's what I want to encourage
that's
you to check it
dope.
out, just because, yeah,
Yeah.
no, really, especially if you've had it before, then it might be really worth it to go at it again, especially like if you're really hungry for that knowledge. That's it's not it's been it's that's the thing about knowledge, right? It's curated from all these different places, and sort of so
Mhm.
for us as tattoo artists, like, that's the this is a real wealth of information and knowledge for us. So anyway, I really enjoyed it. I found it deeply humbling, but also incredibly enjoyable, and really just a great resource. So
Oh, word. So that's cool. So, yeah, I guess, I mean, I've been definitely thinking about getting on it, the digital version, because I'm sure it's, just as you're talking, like, I'm sure it could be something where, like, if you're tattooing, you could just look something up real quick, and be like, how do I do this? And you could just kind of like, look up the,
there is that. To be honest with you, I won't lie. Like, there's all kinds of inside stuff that's that I'm like, I didn't know that. It was things about using digital tools that are helpful. There's design.
mhm.
It's a lot about design. It's a lot about, like, how to. It's not so much. There is some technical tattoo information too. It's not a how-to, of course, as we know. Like, if you had the book
Right.
before, it's not exactly how to, but it also, there's some really interesting things in there about, like, the difference between coil and rotary, the different like different needle configurations and stuff too. Just really practical day-to-day stuff that you're definitely going to use. Um,
Hmm.
so,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
on
think,
subscription. It's a subscription version, correct? So this
yes,
way that they
yeah,
can
there's a
continue to
subscription.
update it and can, you know what I'm saying? You can continue to be
Hmm.
involved.
Right.
Got it. Hmm.
And so it's, yeah, and like so yeah, like I said, there's definitely different, like, levels of engagement you can have, more or less, and then yeah. Oh, thank you for turning your camera. I just noticed you that. Thank you, Spirit. I appreciate it.
Oh, I
But
got a
so
phone
yeah, check
call.
it out.
That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, check it out. I think reinventing the tattoo canon, it's I recommend it. I think it's really great for for us. So, oh, anyway, so
Fantastic.
we were really on it. We're gonna we're gonna do some drawing and
Figure
stuff.
drawing.
Yeah, figure drawing. Yeah, figure drawing. So I'm gonna like share that screen with us, and let me see if I can find it again. What did I do with it? Ah, that's it. I think I have to make it small. Okay, I think I can. Think I can do it. I think I can. All right. Okay. All right. So now we've got this going on. I'm also so I've I've got several screens happening, and it's helpful. It's helpful to know what we're doing. Today's pose. Look at that. It looks like
I love
it's beautiful. It
it. I
Very
yeah,
love
it
it
good.
so
reminds me of
much.
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
That's great.
This we're definitely going to enjoy this one, but I think we'll we're going to postpone this gratification, and we'll start off with some of the figure the quick sketches. I think that's going to be really it's really useful. Um, yeah. So I've got my let me see here. We're still on gallery mode, I believe, and so if you talk, your window will pop up for everybody to see you. But I just want to encourage everybody to keep the conversation going while we're working. I think that's because we're thinking about our podcast guests as well.
Oh yeah.
We're thinking
We're
about
good
them,
at
right? They're
talking.
those
What's up, guys? How y'all
yeah,
doing?
keep talking. What's up, podcast listeners? We
What's
appreciate you.
happening?
Thanks for listening.
So glad that
And
you
we
Hmm.
continue
encourage
to.
you to join us.
Yeah,
Right.
we're not.
You could be drawing anything, just knowing somebody's drawing.
Mhm.
Okay. So I like this. I think 30 seconds is so quick. I like this 90-second thing, but let's start off with some 30-second ones. What the heck?
Just a
Because
quick
that's what
question.
they say. They say to try it. Yes.
Can you hear me? How,
Yes.
when the arm is up like that, how do you figure out, like, divide it? Like, I've got my little eraser and I
Hmm.
was going to say, okay, if the head to the feet is 7.5, 8 of these, but now the arm is
Yep.
extended. So how do I figure out how long to make it?
I think that's a fantastic question. And so here's the only way I can answer that, I think, really is like uh you know at at a certain point, when we're just doing the gesture, we got to put all that other stuff outside of our head and just sort of go for the gesture. Just sort of like go for it. Make a line, make a bold line, see what happens. Um and it's and you're practicing and stuff. Now, if we have more time, you know what I mean, we have more time to do it, then you can do a careful measurement. For instance, like you said, if you have an overall head to foot sort of
Mhm.
ratio measured out, then you can just keep on going and go, just keep going above it vertically, for instance, right? And then you could measure across, you could like a grid, if that makes sense, right?
Mhm.
If you thought about like a grid of, let's if the hand is really extended above the head, and then you did a grid that was like, I don't know, 14 heads tall or something, somewhere in there it would fall.
Mhm.
And that way you would be able to get this accurate sort of drawing. But when we're doing it quickly, just go for it, and
Okay.
you're going to capture some sort of beautiful gesture. But when you have longer time to draw, then I like to measure. I like to do careful observations and relate things together. I think that's really valuable. I think, again, we were, Amber and I were talking about earlier about doing portraits or doing a tattoo portrait, and it's like, even though you'll have everything laid out, you're still going to have a visual reference. You're still going to have this photograph or something that you're going to be looking at. And you know if you've trained your eye to recognize relationships, to look at angles, to look at vertical alignments, horizontal alignments, you're going to be so much more proficient, right, at using a visual reference. So you train from life, and then you can you're gonna it's going to make its way into your day-to-day practice. One more like sort of tip that I think is important, that I find
Uh-huh.
important. A lot of times I'll try to look with one eye. So I'll close one and I'll really observe with one. Um, this
What?
could be really helpful. There's this magical thing that happens with, if both of your eyes work, if you have binocular vision, that like your brain stitches together the image of what you're seeing, right? The reality, the sense information that's coming into your brain. Like your brain stitches it together. And so what I've noticed in drawing is like I'm looking with both eyes, and I'm like sort of, the things that I'm seeing out of the right side, I'm drawing, and then like before I know it, I'm really sort of looking at stuff with the left, and that's in a different spot. So when you're done with your drawing, you look at your drawing, it's like, you're trying to capture a three-dimensional thing, and then you're in your two-dimensional image, it's like it's out of whack. You're like, what the heck? How did that happen? Well, if you look from one perspective, one point of view, you're much more likely to get a convincing two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional object. So just something to think about. Again, I think over time you train your eyes to be more uh, to be more sensitive to those sorts of things. But it's like that's something that I find is really helpful. If you really focus from one point of view, one point of perspective, it can help you. It can really help you with accurate sort of observations. So,
Okay.
anyways, all right. So we're gonna do some 30-second ones. God, these are gonna be so fast. Probably just scribbles and stuff, right? It's probably just gonna be scribbles. I'm sure that that's what mine will be. But I think, I'm probably gonna try to draw them all, fairly moderately sized and on one page, and then, I don't know, like three or four of five of them, something like that. They'll be done in just a few minutes. So, is everybody ready? Three,
Okay.
two, one, and
Yes.
go.
Oh,
30 seconds. Just,
yeah.
just go for it. Let it fall off the page if it must. Get that got gluteus maximus here. That's your butt muscle. Right. So in Guy Atchison's language. All right, three, two,
Dang.
one.
What?
That's it. Yep, go. 30
Gracious.
seconds. We're doing it. So in Guy Atchison's language, the negative on the positive. Negative would be the darker valued, that you see, the things that are dark, and then the positive would be the lighter. There's always this relationship. He talks about it a lot, and I find that, like, if I really like concentrate on that as something, important for the composition of my tattoos. All right, that's another one. Time for another one. It just it makes the tattoo so much more readable. It makes the artwork more readable, and it makes total sense.
The
Just
man, when you
how your eyes want to see.
did that thing in that video about, and you just wrote down tonal value and you couldn't see it, and then
Yeah,
you wrote it darker, and it was like, oh, that's a perfect
yeah.
example of the value of tonal value. Well, I just man, I might just
I love that.
uh,
Thank you. All right, we're doing this is like number 4 right here. Just keep them loose, you know what I mean? And just a line, just a beautiful gestural line. Yeah, well, in ballet, I learned that, it's somewhat dated problematic term called the arabesque, and that's the sort of this gestural of the body. But that, I mean, it's just, it's really, that's what it means, is the gesture that the body makes, like, it's sort of in a ballet. And in figure drawing and stuff, that's what you're sort of capturing you're capturing that with this gestural drawing, the quick
Never thought
movement,
my
or some
ballet
sort of
technique would
life.
work.
What's that?
I never thought my ballet training would work out in drawing, but it is.
Exactly. All right, let's do this last 30-second one, and then we'll reset and make it a little bit longer. I think that'll be fun. Now we're getting warmed up.
Let's just do our ellipses.
Yeah, right. Same difference, right? These are the
I
same
could
difference.
work on those.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing is like, that we want to keep challenging ourselves, something that, we were talking about earlier. Spirit mentioned it. Okay, hold on. Stop.
This is
Stop.
good. This is good.
Pause.
One
All right,
more.
yeah, do it. One more. Last
I'll
one.
do it.
All right. Last one. Or whatever this guy's doing. Oh, he's framing. He's framing it up.
Oh, that's cool.
Something that Spirit said, was I thought was really great was like, don't, if you're listening or you're watching or something, I hope you're drawing too, and I hope that's true. But especially if you think you suck, because we all do. And I just thought about that so much, and I thought it was so true. Like, okay, that's it. let's
All right.
let's make them. Oh, look at that! It's a beautiful silhouette. Oh, that's fun.
Uh-huh.
There's so much to this. There's so much to this program that so much of this program. This is a really great website. Again, there's royalty free. So, all right, 90 seconds. Do a few of those. Right. Yeah, thinking that you're no good is motivational, right? It's really motivational. But
Because everybody thinks that. Like even
yeah,
Leonardo da Vinci thought that. I have proof. Like he actually was like, I wish Giorgio Vasari said that of him. In the lives of the artists. He said that Leonardo said of himself that he wishes that he could create what his mind sees. Leo.
Van Gogh hated his work.
Exactly.
Van Gogh hated his work and didn't sell a painting the entire time he was alive.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Wow. But just kept going, just kept making it. You know what I mean? So it's all a lie. It's all a lie. We're fantastic artists, you know what I'm saying? Because for the simple fact that we want to draw, we want to sit here and we want to toil and we want to say it's ugly until it's not anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's just how art is. Like art, it's beautiful until that last little stroke, or just that's how everything is. Like babies aren't cute until they, you know what I'm saying, come out of the womb and then are, because at some point, looking at a baby will scare the hell out of you. You know what I mean? And if it's being created, so it's just the same type of thing. So
yeah, that's
your frame of
that's fascinating.
Comparing yourself to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no good because I'm not as good as I want to be, but you look at my stuff and you guys are fantastic. So what's your frame of reference here?
No, I mean, no, I don't think, you shouldn't do it. It's again, it's like you're probably the best way to compare yourself is to yourself, I guess. You know what I mean? Because everybody's got to run their own race. Everybody's got to do their own thing. And so if you, again, you can really, you'll never, I mean, well, you can always find this sort of inspiration, I think, in others, but certainly always trying to do better than you did before, or trying to overcome that, I think is a really great goal. Well, speaking of that, we've got Ricardo. What happened? We had Ricardo.
Oh, we lost him.
Maybe he'll try one more time. Ricardo, try again. We'll see if he makes it back in. All right. So, but I think we're ready to do our. I think we're ready to start our 90-second drawings. If you all are ready, because I'm gonna hit the start button. It's gonna say 3, 2, 1. And I just, I think I'm gonna change the color of my medium here just a little bit. there's a, sort of it almost it reminds me of sort of a sanguine sort of Conte color or something like that. Something like that color. Yeah, that's nice on gray tone paper. So I think using black is fine, and then but also like there's all sorts of a whole array of colors that you might try. So anyway, give it a shot. Um, okay, so 90 seconds. That's a it's a like a lifetime longer this go around. So,
Right.
but keep it loose, right? Keep it fluid, and we'll see how it goes. All right, go.
Nice.
Start with that center mass, and then it's always a challenge. Like, I'm trying not to use too much eraser on these because it's like, you want the fluid, like whatever happens, to kind of happen. But you use a little bit, right? You could do it a little bit.
Uh,
I don't see it. It's not cheating. It's just, well, maybe it is a little bit, but whatever. That doesn't exist. Um, ugh, cool. That was one. Whoa. All right.
Nice.
So
Uh,
again, maybe change the scale, maybe there's like more focus that you do on one particular thing, but I think this is really the time to try to find that fluid gesture, that fluid motion. There's it's a beautiful sort of S curve that kind of makes its way from the head all the way to the foot, on both feet for that matter. Um, It's been really, yeah, I seem to be like really into making these silhouettes today. Just seems to be all I can handle.
so I've just been working a lot lately, just on drawing and just just trying to get better and whatnot. And even with tattooing, just trying to implement
Mm.
everything. And I've just realized that just like this has gotten so much harder. You know what I'm saying? Like like pulling my hair out harder, and it's I just feel like sometimes I'm like it feels like I'm just beginning again, and so I was just like, well, that has to mean that I'm on the right path. Like it has to mean that I'm
I
doing it correctly. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
so. I really do. I'm so encouraged by everybody's like, determination here. It was just like we were talking about, like you think you suck, but that's something that you have to overcome. But just in the same way, like, you know, like overcoming that you think you got it means coming back
Hmm.
to class. You know what I mean? Like means
Right.
going back to the lab again and figuring out like, what can I learn? What can I learn more about? How can I improve this? Especially, this is like our profession and we draw.
Hmm.
So what do you mean you're still learning? You're the expert, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
right.
blah.
Yeah, people say that. Like, you're like,
That's,
oh, are you,
yeah.
you know, like I had a client, he was like, I was drawing just some anatomy from like Da Vinci, like some skeletal legs or whatever the Da Vinci was drawing. He was like,
Hmm.
that's so basic. Like, I don't understand why you would be doing that. Like, what, I was just like, that's what it is, man. It's
Yes.
basic stuff. These things are
People who
very,
can't draw
Yes.
think drawing is so easy.
yeah, right,
That's,
right.
yeah, they do.
It's like, you got it, man. What are you
Yeah, they
doing?
do.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I tell
Well,
people all the
also,
time, just because I can draw doesn't mean it's easy to do.
right, right.
I think we can get stuck in our comfort zone too. You know what I mean? In a lot
Mm,
of ways, there may be something that you really do well, and there's no reason why you shouldn't focus on it and make it a big centerpiece of what you do. But, get outside of that comfort zone and try to do those things that are challenging to you. Especially the
Mm,
things that are challenging. I think that's like an indication of like, oh, I should work on that. I should, something. It's an area of opportunity. I like that. I like that
right.
language,
Yeah, area of
something you
opportunity,
can.
yeah. And it's just like
yeah.
with it's almost like it's like that's how the body the reason that even like warm-ups are so good is because like I've been kind of really kind of like trying to figure this stuff out. But the reason the warm-up is so good is because your body is really good at doing what you make it do. Like it, it'll
Right.
focus on that and gather all its faculties together in order to help you do that thing. And when you don't do that thing,
Yes.
then it'll be good at not doing that thing.
Yeah.
um
Yep.
yeah. Just like these martial arts that
Hmm.
they're saying that there's muscle memory, you know what I mean, keeping it
Hmm.
fresh. This is cool.
Hmm.
This is real cool. So it's like Wing Chun, sticking hands.
Hmm.
It's one of my favorite martial arts. Have you seen the Ip Man versus Mike Tyson?
No. What's that about?
Oh, it's in a movie where Mike Tyson and the guy that played the the It Man, they fought. It's like martial arts, the Wayne Chun. It's really, it's you have this small Japanese guy fighting the hulking Mike Tyson, and this is really interesting how like boxing, as long as you're like really good at your craft and martial art, you know what I'm saying, in any type of fighting,
Hmm.
you can still. Um, you know, fight somebody because a boxer and a martial artist, and they tied. They were going at it. This is a really cool pose, by the way.
Yeah. That's. I think that's so interesting. You have whatever style. You know what I mean that you're doing, but as long as you're really expert at your craft, you're going to you can hang out. You can be a contender. So.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching this other gentleman. He was an older gentleman to speak on YouTube. I don't know what his name is. I'll try to look it up. But he talks about it's a good idea because a lot of times I'll have a tendency to just learn about art, just sit and like read the books and just, study art history and just learn about them fools back in the day, what they did. Um, and I just kind of get stuck in the reading about them. But it's good to you know, fill your tank up and then drive. So, just stop all the reading and just actually just sit down and draw. Just sit down and draw pots and pans if you have to. Just
Mhm.
draw from nature.
Mhm.
I've been painting from nature a lot lately.
Yeah, which have been painting.
Mostly some pictures I took while I was camping over the weekend.
Oh, Amber, you did these leaves. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. These yellow leaves.
Yes, thank
Ooh.
you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, I was like, what? It was really beautiful.
That picture was extremely inspiring. I really needed the weekend in the woods. I can't wait till December when we go back.
Mm, nice. Yeah, those colors, man. It was the yellow and the blue with the blue background, I believe.
Yeah, it was so stark and the contrast was so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a cloud in the sky that day either. It was awesome.
Mm. No, that's right. Yeah, the way you
Well, I think
captured that was
that's
really
like, I don't
nice.
know, yeah, that's exactly it. It's the you see something that you enjoy, you see something that you find beautiful, and then you make an image about it, and it's even better. You know what I mean? It's like it's even better than the real thing. You know what I'm saying? Because
Uh,
someone has contextualized it for you. The artist has done their work of, sort of making something. I don't know, there's a romance to it. Um, and
Definitely.
that's a part of art. I mean, it just is. It's a part of what art does. It's a part of what, artists do. Um, they give people that illusion, that life is worth living. you know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
important. It is. It's important. All right, last one, and then we'll move on and do some. Let's do a little slightly longer one. I think that would be fun because we're getting close to the hour, and I think these are it's fun to go on and on. I think, but it's probably also good to you know we've all got responsibilities and stuff. So we'll
Sometimes you lose track of time when
we'll
you go
have
over
our
2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, I know. Well, it's again, and it's like, oh, we could have saved that for next week. So, because there's so much content to go over, but it's hard to organize it sometimes. And
Yes.
so that's why I think again, just having this regular drawing group is it's a good way to keep track of how things are going. And if people want to join, they can always join up and follow along. But also, um, again, like keeping up with your own research. The Reinventing the Tattoo, book, digital book, your own art book collections and stuff that you've got going on. Um, Watching other YouTube videos, I think it's all really, really crucial. Okay, let's pause it here, and I want to because we wanted to do this pose of the day. Remember, we really wanted to do that.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope everybody that's drawing along with us is really having a lot of fun as well. Even if you're drawing something different than the figure, right? We're just drawing, and so you might have to be drawing your drawings for the day, right? You may be doing something other than drawing, but hopefully it's creative in some way. Hopefully it's fulfilling in some way. I think that's
Say
what
less though.
you know that's what makes your labor, I think worth it. Or it's what makes it, sustainable maybe, is that you're doing something fulfilling, you're doing something that's creative, you're doing something that you think is beneficial to the world. If you're just making a paycheck, I don't know. It's important, we all have responsibilities. You have to make a paycheck, yes, but
Hmm.
like hopefully there's a little bit more to it for you, I guess. Whatever your job is, I think there's people you can find something in anything. Whatever your hand finds to do, right? Do it joyfully. But
Yes.
try to find the goodness in it. But like if it's not, you know what I mean, then you should keep searching. Find that thing that's
Yeah.
fulfilling for you. try your best to figure out a way to get that going on. I hope. That's the encouragement. You know, is it possible? I don't know. I don't know. And then at the same time, you know, you may not even be able to do that thing, you know, pose of the day. You may not be able, you know, you may have to do other stuff. Okay, here it is, pose of the day, and I will start a timer. We'll do a 10-minute. Do a little 10-minute time on it. Wherever this is. Okay, timer. 10 minutes. Start. Let's see here.
So I've kind of
Got my
fallen
ringer just a bit.
short.
Okay. What do you mean?
Well, I've kind of fallen short on my measurements lately. I haven't really been, I've just been kind of eyeing it a lot. And I'm sure much to my detriment, but like, I kind of forgot how it goes. Like,
Sure.
if you're looking at a picture, how does it work? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, a picture could even be, you know, could be even more, sort of like easy to measure, especially if you have like, you know, if you have like a pair of calipers, you know, or you could always use your, you know, you could always use your, you know, use your hands like a pair of calipers, like, there's that, and, you know, measure down. Just, I think you want to, you know, you want to like figure out what it is you're looking at, right? So, you know, like, am I looking between, like with a ruler, right? A ruler has has those, all the little hash marks on it, right? Graduations, they're called. And so you would want to figure out, am I looking to the left or to the right of that graduation, right? So when you're using your measuring tools, you have to stay consistent. But all right, so we have what's in front of us, you know, our pencil. So, you know, you go to look at, you can use the tip of the pencil and then, like, say your thumb, for instance, and you can, again, with one eye, you can visually align it with a part and then go from there. Compare it. Now, again, I think with measuring, what's really useful is to compare vertical and horizontal, right? So just think of those two dimensions, verticals and horizontals. When you have anything that has a diagonal, it's very difficult to measure that unless you're comparing it to like some vertical or horizontal measurement. So instead, you know, you sort of like you get an overall like height, right? Let's say in this instance, I might measure from, you know, whatever the widest point is, like the fingertips over here on the right, and then what's furthest out, it looks like the fingertips and the toes are almost like in a line on the other side, right? So if
You
I
hold
did
your
that as a
pencil to the side.
horizontal, yeah, so horizontal, but I try to keep it like as true to the horizontal as I can, and close one eye. Close one eye, so I can look for this measurement, and then again, you want to keep it at a similar distance. So again, I'm like, you know, this is just for demonstration, but you know, if you lean back in your chair or whatever the case may be, whenever you're making one measurement, you want to try to keep it consistent for the next one, right? So then you compare the horizontal, and then you turn 90 degrees and go to the vertical, right? So you can compare, like, so overall, from what I'm looking at, the horizontal to the vertical, it's like 1.5. This horizontal amount is the vertical. So maybe it's less than that. So if this is all the vertical I have, this amount, and then I say, all right, so 1, and try to get that one more time. Again, you double check and see how accurate it is. Maybe 1 2/3 or something like that. So, you know, so 1 2/3, that roughly, this should give me approximately, the head will stick out over here somewhere, but this should give me the approximately the envelope, right? So this would, I would call this like the envelope, the shape that figure would fit into. The figure, it might sort of emerge in a couple places, but again, so I could like sort of come up with a couple of other angles. Angles I would cite by just holding my pencil at the angle I see. So let's say from the tip of the finger to the top of the head, I might sort of look at the reference, look at it one eye, and then bring it right over to my page. Right, just transfer that information right over. And again,
Oh, okay. I see
what I
what you're
want to
trying to do
do,
is hold
yeah,
it the same way and it's bigger on the paper, or I
and
can hold it anywhere I want on the paper and make it that size as far as
right.
that's interesting. Okay.
So it's easier. So you're working like, so you're working flat, like your drawing surface is flat. Sometimes we have to do that,
Mhm.
but if it's, if you have an angle, if it's like up, if it's raised up at all, then what you want to do is keep your measuring implement, whether it's this, whether it's citing these angles or whether it's sort of like, whether you're comparing verticals and horizontals, you want to try to keep this implement like parallel to your eye, like so the term for it is like the picture plane, but wherever your eye is, however your head is sort of tilted looking down at, you keep this parallel, to that surface. That's like the easiest translation. When you're drawing flat, it can lead to all sorts of distortions and stuff. But it's, again, it just takes a bit of practice, I think. So if I draw a couple of triangles, again, like sort of looking for angle, for the angles and stuff, I could start to come up with a quick sort of gesture, and hopefully,
Ricardo was doing that with the angle, with the triangles, and
yes,
uh,
it is a challenge to sort of keep it all organized. You know what I mean? But
mhm.
once you start to get the hang of it, it can really help you move quite quickly.
Huh.
So for instance, like I can cite an angle from the fingertips here through the back of this knee over here and then to the heel, right? There's a line, right? So like this heel's a little higher up, and then there's the back of that knee. And then again, I can sort of look and see like, all right, the back of the knee and the back of the head, they have a correspondence. So now I have like a little bit of a connect the dots sort of a situation, right? So here I've
That
got
makes
now,
sense.
so I'm starting to get like roughly this sort of shape. There's the torso. I'm not going for too many.
I see what you
Not going
mean.
for too many details and stuff yet. But once you envelope first, and then you can start to cite a few angles, do a few measurements. Especially with something dynamic like this, it would be difficult to do the head measurement technique, but that could help you sort of correspond, right? You sort of see like, there's a correspondence. So with the angle, you can find the angle that the legs are sort of traveling through space. um, is it as tall as it needs to be? Is it truncated, or is it like, is it too long someplace or something like that? These are all
Mm-hmm.
things that you can check with measurement. You can check it by measuring. Um, so then you get the head size sort of approximated, and then again, so this shows us all these muscles and stuff, so we can see the deltoid here, the shoulders, and how they relate to the pectoralis, the chest muscles that we can see. like rectus abdominis. That's the 6-pack, right? There's like 8 of them, but the stomach muscles. And then over here on the thigh, you can see that whitish part. That's called the iliotibial band. So it goes from your pelvis down to the tibia. There's Ricardo. All right, a little bit more of the pelvis. Hey, Ricardo.
What's up, dude?
Hey there, buddy.
Sorry if I'm
Hey, what's
joining
Good to have
late.
happening?
you.
Oh,
No, it's
Better late than never.
anytime.
yeah.
Yes. That was yeah. We're just talking about measuring, and we got so lost in our measuring. Now our timer is
We
up,
just
but
talked
I
you up.
think we're just talking about you. Speak of the devil.
Oh, snap. What did I do?
It was
Well,
about
you
your
inspire us,
triangle.
Ricardo.
Yeah,
That's
man.
all.
We're talking about your techniques and stuff, and we admire you very much, and so it's
Absolutely.
we're just chit-chatting about artists that inspire us, and about how how important it is to stay inspired as an artist and keep on overcoming, like whether you think you're no good, you got to overcome that, or whether you think you're awesome, you got to overcome that too. You just got to
Yeah.
keep on working, and that's and then in there, that's where you find your greatness, right? Because because you are great, right? Everybody has their thing to offer. So,
Thank you. I
but
appreciate it, guys.
anyway, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, and remember that time you drew those triangles when we were sketching the people, and I said it looked like a Kabbalah, and you said, yeah, it's called kind of all the same thing. I was like, oh, Ricardo out here blowing mine.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Like it's something that I've always noticed with like religion, more current religions, and and more like what is the sacred geometry and things like that. Like everything's kind of derived from that sacred geometry. You know what I mean? It's pretty wild. And it's inspired by nature too, you know what I mean? So it's like it's in everything. It's pretty cool. So we're on
It's
the
funny.
timer
It's
here.
like we were just we had a timer. It just sort of went off, and now I think we're just sort of like we're making our models stand there even though the timer went off.
Cool.
Oh man. I totally did that one time. I had a poor model who was like, I was in charge of the timer, and she was very professional and awesome, and I forgot to set the timer, and it's like 25 minutes. That's 25 minutes. That's a long time to pose. I mean, if you could imagine it, it's a long
Yeah,
time.
it is.
And
Yeah.
so I don't know, we got to about 40 minutes or so, and I'm like, oh my God, she's starting to fall out. I was like, oh no, I let you down, so, but it's I think it's something I've mentioned, before, is, when I was in art school, a group of us would get together every week, and we'd practice, painting each other's portraits from life. So everybody got a chance to sit there, and, it would be like, it was just a head study. So it was clothed because, we're not professional models, but anyway, you sit there for 25 minutes, and you try to stay still, you try to stay, like focused and stuff. It is so challenging.
Oh,
So people who model are, it's tough work. It's sort of like we were talking about. People think that we just draw, and that's got to be so easy. It's not. There's a whole series of challenges that you don't really see unless you do it. So anyway, I just got to appreciate, if somebody's going to be your model, you got to appreciate them and what they're doing for you. It's very,
Okay.
very
Yes.
difficult.
We appreciate our
Very
models over
difficult
opposed
situation.
maniacs.
Yeah, that
Some
too.
stuff for us.
Yeah.
What a luxury that is. You know what I mean? Like in the past. Well, that's what I heard. I heard a story about, like, so, the very sort of neoclassical ateliers in France, like they would be like in a building that would be, and it would be different levels. Like you know, you'd start off on the ground floor. That's where the you know the brand new artist would start. And by the time you were, you know, sort of achieved, you were up on the higher floors. And so like what you'd do is you'd look at the model. So you know, the models would be on the first floors. And so you know, the new artist would stare at the model all day and try to copy. Well, they'd probably copy casts, but then once they got to the model, second, third floor or something like that, they would work on it all day. But then as you achieved higher and higher, you went higher and higher up in the building, you would you wouldn't be looking at anything. You would just have to remember, you know, but then you would get critiqued by, you know, by people who are expert in the anatomy and proportion, and they would tell you like, you're wrong about this and you're wrong about that. It was very serious business. It was like remembering your it was like remembering your formulas in math class. You had to remember all that stuff. And there wasn't any sort of cheat sheet for you. You had to do it. That was art. That was when art was, you know, sort of thought about slightly differently than we think about it today, I think. But yeah. Well, well, I think we're at this. We're 10 minutes past, and so again, I don't want to keep anybody too extra late. So if you wanted to show yours, I'd love to see it. You could show your gesture drawings, or you could show this longer one, whatever you wanted. You know, I think we'll see what anybody has. But yeah, again, this is our practice. I mean, this is our, you know, this is where we're trying to just like learn, trying to get better. And these are this is just the beauty, and the fun is in the practice. So all right, so I'm gonna stop the share right now. All right, Q Spirit, awesome. Let's see here. I'm hoping that if I can, let's see what this looks like. Ugh, geez Louise. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're in the gallery mode. Yeah, everybody can see. Cool. Yeah, no, I love it. So what did you think about what were some of your approaches there, Spirit? Like, what did you, what were some of the techniques you were using? What did you feel like was useful, or what was working best for you?
Best way is just kind of did the basic shapes at first. You know, the original sketch. Yeah, I just kind of did the basic shapes, and then I darkened in some tonal areas here, and then I just kind of I started doing what you were saying, and then I kind of realized that's what I had been doing all along. It's just kind of referencing different points of the body in order to get the perspective correct.
Yeah. No, I think that was I think I see that definitely.
Yeah, just like this hand meets up with the back of the heel here. And then, you know, putting this drop shadow here just kind of helps to, you know, denote its place in space. And then I try to do the background area here to kind of, you know, make it a little bit more there. Needed some
lovely,
some drama here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so creative.
Well, I think
Thank you.
No, I can see the practice that you were doing with the, you know, with the shapes, and sort of making its way in, and so I think that's really great to see that. And so anyway, yeah, no, I hope that was helpful. Like, you know, what we were talking about again, you know, to Harriet's point earlier.
very helpful. This is fantastic. I loved all the little gesture drawings.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull those up. But,
Yeah, love to see
yeah,
those.
yeah, real quick. I'm gonna go down the list here. So there was this one. This was cool.
Like the shoulders on that one, like the overlap. Hmm. That one was a fun one, I thought. Standing pose. Yeah,
Yeah, that
this
was
one.
hard.
This one, yeah, that that one's great.
The Wing Chun.
That one is great. We did a ton of them.
Yeah.
Oh
we did.
man, it was crazy, dude. Like, yeah, see all of these.
Well, I think what you were
Yeah,
able to capture though in that quick amount of time was the gesture. That's our point. I
right.
mean, that was the point of that is to that movement, through the figure. And I think with more and more practice and the way that you do it starts to take more and more shape. And so I know people like that draw the gesture. It's so beautiful looking. I mean, they can do it in just a few seconds. It's so beautiful. So
Oh wow.
I think it's worth it too to, like even if it's a warm up, great. It's probably the best attitude with it is to keep it as a warm up. But of course, like, with experience, it could become quite aesthetic, I think. So
Mhm.
anyway, those were cool. Amber, how about you? Did you want to share your drawings?
I'll share the pose of the day one. It's the only one I think I did any good on.
Nice.
And since
Nice.
he was
Nice.
disco and I gave him a tiny little smiley face.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, I like the cast shadow as well. I think that's that I think really, really kind of helps the sense of the light, helps to sort of give us a little bit of dimension. So
Yeah, I did a
yeah,
better
excellent.
job at like the muscle groupings
Good.
than
Good.
before. Got a little more of that detail in there and they weren't so confusing because last week they were kind of confusing.
Well, that was last week's longer pose was really challenging. I really liked Ricardo's drawing last week.
Yeah.
I thought it was outstanding. No pressure though, Ricardo. No pressure.
Mutual admiration
Harriet.
society here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you
absolutely.
guys.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Harriet, did you want to share a drawing with us?
Well, probably the only ones you're going to be able to see are the quick ones that we did because I tried
Okay.
to do them dark. My other thing is, I don't know if you can even see it at all.
Yep, there it is.
Oh yeah.
There's
Mm-hmm.
that was the, by
Mm.
the time I had it set up, the 30 seconds was like I had 10 seconds. But there was that one. And that one.
Keep
I think
moving it around a little bit more. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's
I'm very
beautiful.
abstract, I think, in my thinking. It's very abstract.
Well, I would almost it's interesting you said that because like when I saw that one and the earlier one, it made me think of Matisse,
I was gonna say, I
right?
think it
So I
looks
don't
like
know if
somebody that does actual drawing, but I think this
mm-hmm.
one was
Yeah, no,
like
they're
that,
beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
like that. I can tell it's supposed to be a figure of something,
Yes.
but I just, like we were talking about before, you've got to compare yourself to yourself, not to, I can't compare myself with you because that's ridiculous. I can't. I can only
That's
think
right.
about what did I do, how would I have done it before, and how much better I'm doing it now. That's
Yeah.
going to be my frame of reference.
Yes.
And I could be happy with that.
Excellent.
It is always
Excellent.
cool going back and looking at like old drawings and stuff that you've done, Harriet, and and be able to say, "Oh wow, like I was this good back then too," and then you still get to see,
Or I'm
That
so
one
much
you know
that
what I
better
one's
mean?
now.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
That one's
nice.
just
Yeah.
good. So yep.
Yeah, very.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Artwork.
Sometimes they look a lot like aliens.
Don't we all?
Alien looks
Yeah,
like.
mine do too.
But yeah, these for
Love
quick
it.
ones, I was happy.
Yes.
That's good. It gives me something to actually work on more.
Can I say, I really like your line work, like you didn't sketch it, like well, you might have sketched it, but it's like one line. Like each character is one line, and you are still very much able to catch the likeness of it. I think that's a really, really beautiful aesthetic.
There's I don't know if you can see this at all. That's the pose of the day. I had started with the outline, but we only do it for a few seconds. So then I stopped and then I pulled it back out and did my outline with it again. But you guys have the shading and the incredible. Just so impressed with all you guys.
Well, I think, I guess I want to just sort of, emphasize what Spirit just said, that there's you had an approach that you were working with, and it really turned out to be, very beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. It was really great. Ricardo, I know you joined late, so it's not fair, but well, can you show us
Yeah.
what you
What's
ended up
not?
coming up with today? Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Can you guys see
Love
it?
it, dude.
Wow.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, love it, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, went with like the tonal values first. You know what I mean? Like blocking in the shapes and erasing the highlights and stuff like that. Using those as the visual cues and anchor points to kind of get the proportions and the gravity of the figure. So
I think it's a really smart approach, and came up with with quite a drawing in little to no time at all. So I mean that don't even need to mention that. It's beautiful. So
thank you.
excellent.
Thank you.
And it was so great to have everybody come today and to draw together. And I think, just like Spirit said earlier, I really hope that if you were following along, or if you got a chance to tune in, that you also felt inspired to draw or do something creative. So, I think we're really just right about there. I wanna give us all a chance to to do a quick sign off, and tell the audience who you are and where we can find you. Amber, how about you? Would you like to start off first?
Sure. My name's Amber Morgaine, and you can find me on Instagram under Amber Morgaine and on Facebook under Looking Glass Inc. And as always, I really appreciate these Monday classes. I look forward to them all weekend.
Me too.
We really appreciate you. Thank you, Amber. All right, Spirit.
Hey, what's up, guys? You can follow me on Instagram, Tattoos by Spirit, as well as TikTok, Tattoos by Spirit. You can go to my website, tattoosbyspirit.com. And I hope you guys are getting a lot out of this, because I'm getting a lot out of it. I'm just even spiritually. I'm getting it's awakening, different parts of me that have been dormant for quite some time. And just even as a tattoo artist, I've found that being able to just kind of have this place where like I'm kind of held accountable for my work is really great. I have a community of people to bounce off of, so that's just really fantastic.
Thank you so much. Harriet.
Oh, no, I don't have anything to, you can't find me anywhere.
Well, I know where to find you. So,
Yeah.
yeah. No, thank you so much again for coming. Ricardo.
Love it.
Hey, thanks for all the compliments, guys. I appreciate it very much. You guys are all very inspiring to me as well. It's awesome seeing everybody grow together. It's awesome hearing those kind of words that Spirit says. Man, it's awesome to hear. I can't tell you how much I feel the same way. Being part of this community and stuff like that has been most excellent for me in a lot of different ways. Not just my drawings, but personally and also in like that spiritual sense too. Feeling like you're part of something bigger. It's
Mm,
awesome. So, but thank you, James. I appreciate the time. Sorry I showed up late, man. My name is Ricardo Sturdivant. You can find me Tuesday mornings on Tuesday Feels at 10 a.m. Eastern time here, and on Instagram under Ricardo Sturdivant. Hit me up.
Awesome. Thanks, Ricardo. It's always a pleasure, and I'm so glad you got a chance to come. And I'm gonna drop by your show tomorrow. I'll bug you tomorrow. So
Killer.
and you all should too, right? You should all check out Ricardo's show because it is also most excellent. Well, so thanks again, everybody, for tuning in to another exciting episode of Drawing for Tattooers. I'm James Wisdom. You can find me on Instagram at Tattooing Wisdom and at Facebook Tattooing Wisdom. I have a website. I'm working on it. It's tattooingwisdom.com. Gabe's helping me out, so you know
Awesome.
it's gonna be it's gonna
You have
be
the
good.
perfect name.
So thanks. Well,
Yeah.
you know, I think we're all cool, right? Everybody, you know, it's like be yourself, and that's that's got to be the best thing you could be, right? Be who you are, right? Be proud of it,
That's
and
right.
that's like that's the best thing you could do. So,
Okay.
well, anyway,
Is there homework?
Oh, homework. Oh, it's a good one. Well, you know, I
draw.
think, yeah. Well, you're gonna have so something that I've been really sort of drawn to lately is this idea of the bounding box, right, or the envelope, right? So, I think something that might work out, right, is try to like draw some boxes, right? Try to find a box, try to find, some structures, sketch those out. If you want to try to find the value there, you want to find the tonal value, that could be useful too. But um, but but the cube, right, or the box is something you can look at from life, but also once you get something that I think you can internalize, and then you can start to sketch that from imagination. It's a great place to start. We can start to draw these really simple geometrical forms, and then um, we can start to invent our own figures, our own characters, or our own sorts of like inventions, and they can have a lot more of this sort of convincing quality. So give that a shot. I'd love to see how that gets
Cool.
interpreted. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually
Try to
moving.
draw some forms.
I'm actually moving now, so I got a lot of boxes around, so it's cool.
Yeah, well, I found myself. I moved recently too, and I had surrounded by boxes. So I was just, whenever I was like sick of moving stuff, I'd sit down and draw draw my
Oh,
boxes.
that's great. That's great.
So, yeah, no, yeah. In school, I had a teacher. He set up a bunch of boxes. He's like, "All right, let's see if you can draw your way out of this box." And then he set up a bag. It's a paper bag. He's like, "Let's see if you can draw your way out of this bag." They were challenging. I mean, it's more challenging than it sounds. So you practice that, it really builds up towards doing something much more complicated, right? The complexity will emerge right out of this sort of simple practices. So I hope that you find some enjoyment out of it. I hope you find it's uh, I hope that you find that it's something that ends up helping. So. Well,
Cool.
anyway, I'm gonna sign us off now. Thanks again, everybody, for coming, and thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great week. Happy drawing, and we'll see you next stream. All right.